Good morning, guys. Welcome. Hello. Welcome to those who are joining. If you're not familiar already, my name is Ed Troxel, and I'm your creative consultant, helping you think outside the box and motivate and inspire you to do better in your online business. This morning, I have a special guest here, Ciara. How about you go ahead and introduce yourself for those who are watching?
My name is Ciara. You can find me on Twitter. I'm Ciara Lindsay, CIARALYNSEY. He'll put it up for you to find. But we're here to talk to you about community and follow through. And what else, Ed?
A lot. By the way, before we get started too, if you can't hear us, please let us know. We're using a mic and it is kind of loud, and you can comment right there. You can also hit the hearts on the screen here. So if you need to let us know that we need to speak up or we need to change out the mic, please do, because we're at a coffee shop. So we want to make sure that you can hear what we're talking about. We're super pumped. It's really going to be a conversation piece that we're talking about here. Ciara and I really have great conversations, so we wanted to bring that to you guys on here, and we hope that you'll start interacting with us, but with each other as well. Be sure to mention yourself in the comments and where you're from and maybe what you do as well. If you don't have an online business or aren't working on anything right now, don't worry about it. Still interact with us, because everything leads to something, and teamwork equals success. You're going to hear that over and over and over. So Ciara and I were slowly talking about, prior to this, about just catching up and what we were thinking of talking about today. And so the consistent topic that has been present lately for us both has been feedback and follow through.
Mm-hmm.
So let's first start off with before we even get to the feedback and follow through part, because this kind of leads into that, is let's start with hello, Laura. Thanks for putting your name, by the way, in all caps, because then we can actually see it.
Yeah.
That's the big one that we've noticed a lot on Scopes, is that, for instance, mine is Ed_Troxel, which is great. You can see it. It's my real name. But when you actually comment and you're further away from the camera, it's hard to see that, and we don't want to be, squinting every 5 seconds to look at that. So I appreciate that, and we'll try to answer as many questions as we can. Also, keep in mind, things that we may cover in this scope, like having Ciara here, we will be posting back on our website under Scope School the links. So we'll provide a link for her Twitter so you can start following her and encouraging her to do more. So we'll get to that part in a minute. So just be sure about that. And then any comments that you guys have and questions we don't get to answer, if I can review them later and have an answer for you, I'll put them in that Scope School as well to follow up with this. So Ciara, tell us a little bit about kind of what you're doing or would like to do, and that process, kind of like we talked about with the community thing a minute ago.
Well, me personally, I'm an artist, but I also talk to people every day with my job. I work with this fool right here, and we talk to people all day long. So understanding what a community is and what a community can do for you, I've learned so much about myself, being able to interact with people and ask questions and have people ask questions of me that challenge me but also get me to think. I was like, well, why don't I do this for myself in my personal life and be able to use this to motivate me? So recently I've been getting ready to launch a little clothing line. I'm starting with t-shirts. That's what I was going to talk to you about today.
That's a little new info for myself as well.
It's not a secret. Well, that's what I was going to show him today, because I needed his feedback. So I've been showing people just the design and what I have going on, but I've been getting oh, I like that, and I'm like, yay, I like that you like it, but why do you like it? Why do you like it? Why don't you like it? Would you wear this? It's give me feedback. I need things to be able to edit myself. And so this guy is really good at being able to give feedback. So if you need any help, awesome, he's the guy for you. You're on the right channel. So what I needed him for is to be able to look at what I have and not tell me that he doesn't like it, not tell me that he loves it. I would love if he loved it. But I also trust him. So being a part of a community where you can have a dialogue with people that you trust, you know that they're not giving you bad information, they're giving you information that's genuine and coming from themselves and wanting to help you. That's what I'm trying to start, and that's what he's trying to start as well. So we want your help being able to have a dialogue and ask us questions so we can ask you questions and we can have this back and forth and be able to get somewhere with it.
Yeah, definitely. And for those who just joined, also please let us know, like, if you can't hear us very well. We're at a coffee shop, and we just want to make sure that you can hear what we're saying, because it's really a good dialogue. And like Sarah was saying, you know, almost every time in my scopes, I'm always asking for your feedback. I want to know, was it good? Was it great? Was it not so great? And I've told you before, like some of my previous ones, the beginning, it sucked. Like, to be honest, I was looking at it afterwards and I'm like, that was terrible. But guess what? I kept doing it, and the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the more feedback and the more feedback you get from others, the better your work's going to be later down the line. And so that's why we're having this meeting, and this is why we want to talk to you about that. Is because if you don't know what your strengths and opportunities are, how are you supposed to get better? How are you supposed to exceed?
Yeah. I say that all the time. I say, like, you don't know what you don't know. But if you don't know what you don't know, you don't have someone that's there back and forth, like giving you direction and like asking you questions that they don't know what you don't know either. So they're going to ask you questions and probe you to get, you know, the answer. So for me, I need someone to encourage me.
Yeah. Exactly. And so that's why I got her on the scope here. And that's why she's actually one of the first interviews that I've done, like actual interview on here. So I'm really stoked about it, and really hoping that we'll continue this so that it not only pumps us up, but it gets you guys going too and motivates you for that. So let's go back to talking about a little bit about how you were talking about Twitter and building a community, and like we're not trying to be famous and things like that, because that was a really good topic, and I really want people to understand that it's not about just coming to my website, just getting me followers. I want quality over quantity, not the other way around. And I don't want a bunch of these followers that I can say, oh, I have 2,000 followers, but yet I only interact with 5 of them. It doesn't matter to me, you know?
It's not it isn't about fame. It isn't about how many people follow you. It's about why they follow you and the quality of that follow. For me, like, I have a good amount of followers, but that's, and I actually don't follow that many people, to be honest with you. It's because I want to keep my feed fresh. I want to keep my feed with feeding me information that I want. Like, that's what we need from the internet. The internet is full of so many things, and not all of it is for us. Not all of it is for what we're looking for. And so to muddy that up is distracting. For me, I get distracted. There's people walking by, and I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well, but I get distracted really, really easily. And so for me to like use the internet, and I treasure what I can find on the internet. This is how I've learned what I know, and I know I have so much more to learn. So I don't want to muddy up what I have with things that aren't applicable to me.
Yeah, exactly. And we had talked about this prior to going on, and how important it was. Welcome to those who are just joining. Feel free to comment down below and tap on the hearts on the side to show that you're here and interacting. There you go. Because again, it's not just us talking to you. We want to hear from you as well. And if you can, when you put your name, put it in bold so we can see it from there. So basically, we're just talking about feedback and the importance of follow through and being able to have that dialogue with each other, both in person and online, so that way you can get better at what you're doing, whether it's your own business or just, you know, taking the kids to school, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. You just want to hi Jen. And if you have a hard time hearing us, please let us know, because we are using a mic and we're out in a public coffee shop. So really, we just want to make sure that you know it's not a popularity contest. It's about delivering good quality content, and it's quality over quantity. You're going to hear that all the time from me, as well as teamwork. Teamwork equals success, you know?
Exactly.
And that's how we get motivated and pumped up. And for those who have just joined, I just found out a little secret from Ciara. I'll let her recap what that was.
I'm starting a new little side business for myself. For those of you that just joined, I'm an artist, and I'm trying to get my art out there in different ways. And I actually went to a fashion school about, oh my gosh, I'm older than I look. I went there a little while ago. I never will. It's a potion that I brew only for myself. No, I'm starting a t-shirt company. So this is a lot about what we're talking about. What was your topic? It was feedback and follow through.
Yeah.
For me, I needed to follow through with this. And one thing I wanted to mention was what really got me pumped up, like other than having conversation with great people and like the community that we have. I was listening to a podcast called Millennial.
We're gonna be linking that in the show.
It's gonna be
on Scope School.
Yeah.
So if you didn't get that, I'm gonna have
You
her do
design
that.
too. Follow me. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk back and forth. I would love to see what you do. Anyway, and I couldn't see your name, so put your name up there, and so I know that to expect conversation.
I wasn't
from
sure
you.
if that was Jen or not, but go ahead and type in your name there again for
We'll
us.
talk. Don't worry. But anyway, I highly recommend that you listen to this podcast. He's going to put a link. I'll also send a link out with my Twitter if you follow me. But it's called Millennial. It's hosted by a girl. She's about my age, about 29. I'm going to be 30 pretty soon. Don't laugh, Ed.
Still young. You're still young.
He's older than me. It's okay. Anyway, her name is Megan Tan. Megan Tan. She's amazing. I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience with it. I downloaded this podcast a couple of months ago. Not that long ago, but long enough to have. I should have been listening to it. Like, it was just in my queue of Netflix, my Netflix queue. No, my podcast queue. For me to listen to, and I had subscribed to it, you guys. I did.
Awesome, Jen.
Nice.
Thank you.
I love it. I'm gonna follow you. Gotcha.
And if you tap also, Jen, if you slide, for anybody who's new, if you slide to the right on an iPhone, you can hit share, and this will share on your Twitter feed, this scope. But also, fun fact, if you tap on someone's name, including mine, you can then view their profile and also follow, and then that will also help me send the information directly to you later too.
That's right. And speaking of sharing, we're still talking about this podcast. So I had this downloaded for a little while, and a couple days ago I had a bunch of stuff that I had just come in from my subscriptions. They were new ones. I was really excited to listen to them, and for some reason something was telling me you should probably listen to that Millennial podcast. And I have OCD. I need to do things in order, otherwise they don't feel right. And for some reason it didn't feel right to start in order for this particular podcast. And I listened to number 4. So if you listen to this podcast, it's called it's number 4, Nothing to Lose.
Nice.
And something about it just it caught my attention, and I listened to it. So I listened to it right out of order. And I was listening to what she was saying, and I could hear the emotion in her voice, and it's delivered more kind of like news, like NPR sort of things like that, and more of storytelling, which was really cool. And I could hear the emotion in her voice, and she started talking about follow through and how hard it was for her to start this podcast. And this is the fourth episode into her podcast, after she's gotten a little bit of acclaim for it, but people are getting into it, really enjoying it, and taking something away, and which is what she wanted. She's people hear me, people see me, and she needed that feedback. So these two things tied together, she needed that feedback to continue with that follow through. But the follow through was the scary part, and it is scary to start something new. To be honest with you, this is the first time I've told a few people about my new little company. I'm going to call it Certainty Clothing Company, which is
nice.
Well, we can talk about that later, why I named it that, but it's definitely something that's personal, and to be able to give that out is extremely scary. And this is why you need a community of support and feedback, and people that, even if they don't buy your stuff, they're stoked on telling you, smart name, I know, thank you very much.
And Jen,
and
also,
I need that feedback.
By the way, I just hit you up on here. So you asked what the name was. So Ed_Troxell, Troxell. Also, if you slide right, you'll see that right there in case you need to spell that again.
It's in
And
there.
that's why I had her come on here, guys, because one, we work really well together, and two, obviously gorgeous and has
Stop
no
it.
age defining there.
Oh my God.
And also, we also have a great work partnership where we help each other with the different tasks that we have, and we help motivate each other with that. And like she was saying, it brings community, right? It's all about working together to get somewhere that we want to go. And that's the biggest thing for us, is just helping people. You know, it's not about what we do necessarily. It's about how we do it with each other.
Exactly.
And building that confidence and that community.
Yeah.
Like I've told you before, I'm not used to being on this side of the camera. I'm always the one behind the camera, taking the photos, being, you know, the creative thinker, telling other people what they need to be doing.
Director.
Exactly,
I'm
director.
So good
Yes,
at it.
yes.
I'm so good at it.
Exactly. And so being on this side of the camera has definitely taken some weeks to do this. If you've gone on my catch.me, that's KATCH.me, and you looked at some of my older ones, which I don't recommend, but I do, because I want you to build your confidence. You'll see that it was really weird to be on there for me. There'll still be some times to do that, but look at how natural this is between us right here.
It's
and
easy.
It's
helps. Easy to talk to you.
Yeah, it helps
It's easy.
because we work together really well. And it's great if you've never scoped before, you need to get on here and start doing that. Like,
It's fun. This is my first time, really.
yeah, and nice, and go ahead and just scope, like interact with the comments right there, like you've been doing. Jump in on other people's scopes. If you're looking for people to follow on our website under Scope School, there's actually the top 10 that I started having.
Kelsey.
What's up, Kelsey?
Hi.
Welcome. So excited that you joined. So on Scope School, we have a list of the 10 people that I've started to follow on Periscope here, but I also want people to start adding theirs in the comments. And Coach Glitter yesterday had a fantastic scope. Yes, she's awesome, and you need to follow her.
I'm on my way.
She
Done.
did an amazing scope. Good morning. And she had a great interaction with the whole community
amazing.
on her Periscope.
How many people were on that?
I
scope?
think there was over 100 people, and
Fun.
I mean the list was just all over the screen. Like, you couldn't even really see her. It was just
Yeah.
everyone talking about what they do. She did a networking party, so it was awesome.
Cool.
They said what they do, where they're at, everything, and it was fantastic. There was a problem at the end for the replay, so I believe that there's no replay of it, which is the bummer part. We were really disappointed on that. But it was a great interaction for those who were there, and that's what we want to do, especially here on Periscope, because it's so new and there's still people showing up to the party. The DJ hasn't even come in yet. So it's like awesome to
Right.
be a part of this and to get so connected with each other. And you feel like a really tight-knit community, because then when everyone starts showing up after the DJ gets here, it's going to be hard to have that same feel.
There's nobody like dancing alone at this party
No.
once the DJ gets there. Like, we've been ready.
Yes.
We've been ready. I get it.
Yeah.
That's a good analogy.
And if you're on online, you can't be a wallflower. Like, being a wallflower is just not okay. So if you can't scope yet, you need to start commenting, because that's going to pump you up and get you to go for the next big thing, which is scoping, which is kind of like cliff jumping. I'm comparing it to that because
That's serious.
the first time I did cliff jumping was
You cliff jumped before?
Yes, in the Dominican. It was crazy. And so the first time I did that, it was nuts. And the fact, like, I did it was the adrenaline rush, and then I kept wanting to do it. Same with these scopes. That's why we're doing it daily, and why we're starting our lineup of great interviews that we're going to be doing here. And for those who just joined, we've been talking about follow-up and, feedback and follow-through. I'm on those Fs there. So feedback and follow-through. And I'm one really big on not only the feedback part but follow through. Like, if you're gonna do something, you need to do it to the fullest.
It won't happen otherwise. It just won't.
Exactly.
Like, and that's where we were coming from. And feedback. She knows
Yes.
about it. That fearless, right?
Yes.
Yep. So my favorite thing about feedback is that it gives me motivation. I need motivation, because if I don't have motivation to do the follow through, then that fear is going to take over. And fear for me, like, this head, it goes so fast, and I can come up with any answer, every answer not to do it, to be scared, why I would fail, why I won't fail, but maybe down the road I'll just be embarrassed. And you can't die from embarrassment.
No.
Y'all, you can't.
And we're out at a coffee shop
I would be
right
dead
now.
by now. Yeah.
We're out in public,
Oh, yeah.
and we have a tripod stand. I'll take a picture with the iPad and tweet it out later. Or Sierra might do it right here.
I'm going to take a picture of
There
where
we go.
we are and what this looks like.
So that way you guys can see. This is the first time that I've been doing this outside,
Nice.
which is crazy. And are you going to look at the camera so you can take a picture of us in there? There we go. What a great way to take away the fear of giving feedback as well. Yeah, exactly. Yes. excuse me. So we're gonna go for a little bit longer. How can I follow Ciara? So she actually is part of my following there, and then we'll also put it in the show notes on the Scope School. Go ahead and say your handle again, since we can't type it.
CIARALYNSEY. That's Ciara Lindsay.
And again, I'll put that on the Scope School over on our website, which is edtroxelcreative.com. Click on Scope School, and it will have a follow-up post to this. For those who are new, Scope School is something that I started here, and what I basically am doing there is whatever I cover here on a scope that has to deal with a link or has to deal with somebody I want you to follow or any recommendations, things like that, instead of you going to have to rethink, oh, what was that? Where do I go? Exactly, all of that. I actually created Scope School on my website so that each post I do will have the same show title here, and then you'll have the link directly there. So that way you just have one spot to go to and then click from there and you're connected.
It's like a little recap.
Exactly. And, you know, as Ciara knows and others know, thank you for those hearts, is that I love being a resource for people, and I love helping each other get connected and, you know, showing off the different skills that we have. So that's a big one, and that's why I hope that you guys will continue to follow and share. When you slide right and hit share, that shares it, and continue to keep up with us, because, like I said, this is the first of many interviews that I have ready to go, and it's just going to be a continuous process, and it's going to get better and better the more you start interacting and the more you start sharing.
So
because we get to have fun. I mean, like I said, we're out at having coffee right now. Cheers. And I had to. So that's the fun part about it. We're just hanging out, yet we're still getting business done.
Yeah,
and
you're hanging out with us, y'all.
Exactly. And I love that. Learn about swipe right. Yes. So great point, Kelsey. So a little.
Yeah, it's vanilla almond latte.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's actually almond milk.
Where's your coffee? We will get you some the next time you come down here and scope with us.
Right,
so
Anchor,
there's
come
the
on
challenge. Down. So if you want some coffee, come down with us and we'll do a scope. Because you know, Kelsey, we got a lot to talk about and catch up on. So when it comes to those who are new on Scope, we always like to keep this short, but it's a little housekeeping. So we talked about, like, when you comment, if you put your name in bold, that helps, so that way we're not squinting, even though we'd like to lean in and make it more connected.
See me better?
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Hey.
We're gonna have to do a picture of that later for Instagram. But also, if you slide to the right on any of the screens there on iOS, it will allow you to hit share, as you heard from me before. You can also see who else is in the chat and then tap on their name and then hit view profile, block user, or reply. Now, you don't want to block a user unless they're being really inappropriate or just really being a hater. And guess what? You guys are going to have haters. People don't like people who are very positive and motivated and outgoing. So you're just going to have to deal with it and just ignore them. Also, when you tap on the screen, you'll have hearts that show up, and each heart will be a different color. So when you see your name down at the bottom before it says say a comment, it will show a color. That's the color of your hearts. And then if you also hit, thank you for sharing. If you also hit the people on the corner there on the right hand side, you will also see that you can hide comments. So much love. So it's really awesome, and it's been a great morning so far, and I'm really happy about this.
Motivated, pumped. Pumped.
And like I said, always feel free to give feedback and let us know if you need to recap anything. This will be up on Periscope for 24 hours for those who are new to Periscope. And then there's other cool sites that can pick up the information, like catch.me, which is katch.me. But we won't go too far into that. I need to help her look at some design work that we can't show you yet.
Not yet. So, follow me.
Yes.
And then I'm going to start showing you very, very soon.
Yes.
Very soon. My website's almost done.
And she even has
It's almost
I'm
done.
learning so much this morning.
I know.
And she's been keeping this a secret. So anyway, we're going to get to work. We'll take a quick selfie in a second and put it on our Instagram. But we hope you guys enjoyed this, and we hope that you'll continue to follow and share and let us know what topics you want us to cover too, because I really want to have her more on here because, like I said, we do a really good duo here. So we hope you guys have a great day. Thank you all for your time and for coming
Goodbye.
by, and have a great day.
It was nice to meet you.
Take care.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.